again, everybody. We are back to talk about some more Nerds Make Sense, making sense of things that you guys really aren't sure of. And I'm Ted.
I'm Josh.
And a little backstory about this. So, when we first made the channel, I feel like my voice is weird, but it's okay. When we first made this channel, I wanted to get questions so we could have stuff piled up just in case one day we're like, oh, we don't know what to do here. So, I reached out all my personal social medias, and I got a lot of response to you, and I got a lot of questions for this one episode. It is Harry Potter themed.
Ooh.
So, do you want me to just say her name or just?
Well, yeah. Let's give a shout out to her. Thank her for this. We don't have to give her. We don't have to give her last name.
Oh, okay. Listen, I'm new to this, people. So I want to give a shout out to my cousin Monica, who gave us a lot of good questions.
Yes, thank you very much.
I know. I'll be honest. I watched the movies. I read half the books. Some of them are pretty long, dude.
Yeah, but they're all really good.
They are good. Yes, I loved every single one of them I did read. So I had to do a little bit more research than I thought I had to because some of these questions were really good, and I was like, I want to know this for reals. I don't want to do this just for the episodes, but for my resume, I want to be like, oh yeah, I figured this out. Get this out.
And for me, I've as they were coming out, I think when I first started reading, I was about 3 books behind, but after that, I was, every time a new one came out, I was reading it. I've loved the stories since I was a little kid. Loved the movies, watched them as they came out. And I recently actually got the Audible book formats and re-listened to them while I was at work. So I feel pretty confident on my knowledge on this one.
Yeah. So sorry. Well, so shout out to you, Monica. Thank you. So first question is, oops, that's not the right button. Could Harry Potter, the storyline of Harry Potter, evolve without Azkaban and Sirius Black? And if you want, we could tie in the second question with the first one and make one huge answer.
Yeah, I think we should probably do that because it's I think they're both pretty close to one another.
Okay, the second question is, how pivotal was Sirius as a character, although short-lived? Fun fact, I love Sirius Black. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
So.
And I personally, I think Gary Oldman, who played him in the movies, did an amazing job playing him. I definitely thought he brought the actual character that we got to see in the novels to life. Now, the one little thing I do disagree on is the short-lived part of the comment.
I mean, in the movies. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he's only there for 3, 4, and 5, but he's there for 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Of course, he doesn't get a whole lot of doesn't get a whole lot of page or screen time in 3 and 4. But he doesn't. But he definitely gets significant more time in Order of the Phoenix. So to get started on answering the question, could we do without Azkaban? Yeah, but I think it does answer the question. What happens to wizards when bad wizards after they get convicted of crimes. I think it does answer an important question. While it doesn't necessarily do anything to advance the storyline, it does give a sort of a reference point. And actually, I believe Azkaban was actually mentioned in the second book, Chamber of Secrets, when Hagrid gets arrested when they think that he's the one causing all the kids to be petrified. And so I think there was a question. Hey, what's Azkaban? What's it like?
I remember reading when they said that he shot somebody. I was like, whoa! Compared to the first one, because I think I watched the movie on a field trip. The first one. Then after that, I started reading the books. So when I read the first page of that, and it said that I forgot who was reading it, but it was a wizard newspaper. So. It was moving and everything, and it said that, Sirius Black was caught with a Muggle gun. I was like, whoa, this show's fresh. But, you know what? I'm going to do something really cool. I'm going to disagree with you and say that Azkaban was important for the series. I feel like Azkaban can It had to be there because Azkaban, not only for the what happens to wizards when they go to when they're bad wizards, but so a lot of few things that Sirius Black, he was in prison because he was falsely accused of killing the parents, right?
Oh well, he was
an assist.
Well, no, he was. What the reason why he was imprisoned was because he, I believe, he killed a large group of people.
Oh,
and he was trying to kill Peter Pettigrew, but he accidentally killed a bunch of bystanders.
Yeah, because there's a few things that Sirius Black. I'm pretty sure,
but everybody thought that he had betrayed Harry's parents.
So when you say that you can do without Azkaban, you're talking about the whole movie, right?
Not
they just do the whole movie?
Not necessarily the whole movie.
Or are you just talking about the prison?
How much Azkaban is prevalent in the story after the first time it's referenced.
I think she's talking about the movie in whole.
Oh, okay. The movie in whole, no, you can't do without it.
Yeah, because there's a few things that I found out that I didn't. Rewatching the movies, the movies don't have all the information in the books. I remember reading it when I was younger, but that was a long time ago, dude. I don't read books no more. Yeah. Unless it's strategy guys, the video games, I ain't playing. I ain't reading it. So when I found this out, I thought it was pretty cool. It's that Sirius Black, when he escaped out of Azkaban, was a pivotal reason why Voldemort came back.
To that extent, I would say no.
Yes, I would say yes because when Sirius Black got out, what did he want to do?
Well, he wanted to find Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew, and who was Peter Pettigrew?
He was Scabbers, Ron's rat,
and he assisted Voldemort, right?
Yes.
Okay, he's the one who told everything, right? So,
Peter, yeah.
Was Scabbers always with Ron? Did he ever try to run away or anything before this movie? No.
I don't think it was mentioned before this one, but he
hid as a rat to run away from the Death Eaters and the Popos.
Right? He not to hide from the Death Eaters, but to hide from because everybody thought he was dead, and Sirius was the only at the time he was the only one who actually knew the truth. He was the only one that knew that Peter Pettigrew was the one responsible for betraying. Oh my God! Why can't I remember Harry's father's name? James. He was the only one that knew the location of James and Lily Potter, and of course their young son Harry. He was the one that betrayed them to Voldemort, which led to the events of Voldemort going to their house, killing James, killing Lily, and then of course the curse rebounding and destroying his physical body and adding the scar to Harry's head. Here's the thing. I think even without Sirius coming after Peter Pettigrew, you still would have had Scabbers trying to escape to get back to Voldemort.
But because when I did this research, I did not find anything about him trying to go back to him. I feel like he was chilling. He was living life. Voldemort was out of the picture. He had his minions, but he was not there, right?
Because here, and this is pointed out in the movie too. When Harry wakes up at the Leaky Cauldron after the events with his aunt, he runs into Harry and Hermione, who are okay, that's too early. I'm sorry. There's were they already at Hogwarts? But basically, as soon as they get to Hogwarts, Scabbers disappears. And Ron blames Hermione's cat, Crookshanks, for eating him, thinking that, Scabbers was dead. And then, of course, later Hagrid finds him and gives him back. But, right there, you already see him trying to get away. Now, whether that's directly because, at that point, he didn't know where Sirius was.
He didn't know where Sirius was, but
he knew Sirius was on the loose.
Yeah, but still, that means that, oh, crap.
But here's the thing. Hogwarts has always been touted as one of the safest places within the Wizarding world. Not to mention, I think actually, and here's the thing. I think he was actually more scared of the Dementors than he was of Sirius Black.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was hiding from Dementors, and you said no. That's like he was hiding from Dementors in the Popo, and you're like, not much the Dementors. And I was like, what are you talking about? They can kill him.
Oh, no, yeah. He wasn't necessarily hiding from the police. He was hiding from, like I said, he was hiding more for the sake of the fact that everybody believed he was dead.
Yeah, so one more point I'm trying to get across is that Voldemort would have came back eventually. But the reason Sirius Black coming out of Azkaban is important because when Azkaban came out, Ron's dad worked for the Ministry, right?
Yeah.
So if the Ministry knew, he would know. He'll tell the whole family. Scabbers like, fuck, but you could assume not whatever. But once Sirius got out, that's when you start seeing Scabbers trying to leave. He's like halfway through the movie, he's like, I can't find Scabbers, right? So my thing is that when Sirius coming out, it made Scabbers want to react faster to get Voldemort here.
Maybe,
It rushed the sequence. It rushed the sequence of him coming back because you didn't see that in the first movie.
No, of course not.
Because I feel like Peter Pettigrew was chilling. He was living life. No one knew where he was at. And not until the Marauders map was found till they even knew he was there.
That's the thing. That was the first time Harry knew that Peter Pettigrew was still alive.
What's the other guy's name? The werewolf. I like him.
Lupin.
Lupin, Sirius, and Peter all made the Marauders map. They were called the Marauders, and they made the Marauders map
with James.
Yeah, so that's another thing that then they used the Marauders map later in the series. Without this being happening, they probably would have never had it because they would have never found it. There was no reason to give it to Ron. The brothers giving it to Ron, right? I think the brothers gave it to Ron.
Well, okay, I think at that point because here's the thing. I think he probably forgot about the Marauders map because it had been years. Mm-hmm. Sure, he knew what the Marauders map was capable of, and he probably figured out, Harry's got the Marauders map. He can see my real name, that in that time in the hall. And then of course it transferred over to Lupin for a while after that. So Lupin would have been able to figure it out, and obviously, when Harry mentions that he saw Peter Pettigrew's name on the map to Lupin, Lupin starts to put two and two together because even Lupin thinks that Sirius, up until that point, he thinks that
he couldn't believe it. Like he was like,
nah. He thinks that Sirius was the one responsible. Yes, of course, Sirius was still his friend, but he kind of, he thought that he started to believe what everybody else believed.
Yeah, eventually, just like you defend someone, you defend someone so much. But
I'm sure at first Remus wouldn't have wanted to believe that either of them could have done it, but then it's once you get convicted for something and you're in jail for so long, you start to think that you on the outside start to think that okay, maybe they actually did do it. But when he saw, when he heard Harry talk about Peter Pettigrew being on the map, he started figuring out, what if I've been wrong this whole time? Then he started to think, okay, maybe this needs to be investigated further. But that's kind of beside the point. Here's the thing: there was also a prophecy that, if you remember, that Professor Trelawney, the professor for divinations, she made in front of Harry that predicted Peter Pettigrew would return to Voldemort. Now, I can't say that was directly influenced by Sirius escaping, or it could have happened. It could have happened regardless.
It's like me saying it's going to rain tomorrow. And
it might have happened a little bit later in time. And you know what? Maybe Sirius escaping, maybe it did rush events a little bit.
Yeah.
But I honestly think, I honestly believe that regardless of Sirius escaping or not, eventually Peter would have returned.
Yeah.
In order to raise Voldemort.
Yeah, he would have, but I feel like it was rushed because he got out. And also another.
Then I'll agree with you on that one.
Because I'm not saying that like it wouldn't have ever happened, but he was chilling, like he was living the life. He was a rat. No one knew he was alive. Yeah. No one. But
I do think that the whole story of Azkaban and Sirius being introduced were pivotal to the rest of the story because number one, it introduces not just one but three James's 3 best friends to the
backstory for the family. Yeah,
exactly. And it gives us a little more of an idea of what happened to set up, the series as a whole. So yeah, no, I definitely think the series would not be able to. Well, I mean, it might be able to do without it, but I think it's better off for it.
Also about Sirius Black and his being a pivotal character. This one I didn't realize until I read about it that this would have never happened. But I don't know what movie this is from. I think it's which one's the one? Oh my god, that's one of the last. Which one's the one where Fudge at the end Fudge resigns?
He resigns in between 5 and 6.
So what was the one he resigned in? I mean,
so
because I remember the movie, but
so Order of Phoenix was just after Voldemort's return. That's where at the very end, during the whole battle of the Ministry or the battle, it's called a different, but when the kids are at the Ministry of Magic looking for the prophecy. And then at the end, you have the big fight between Dumbledore and Voldemort.
Right, the 5th book.
Yeah, it's the 5th book. It's Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
But yeah, you have the big fight between Dumbledore and Voldemort, and then at the very end, several members of the Ministry, including Fudge, show up, and they actually see Voldemort.
Yeah, and then I know Fudge through the whole movie, he's like, dude, this isn't real.
He's going crazy before, and that's why he instills the most hated character in the Harry Potter franchise as his spy in Hogwarts, and she will not. She is the character who will not be named.
I was happy what happened to her, but
of course everybody was. Everybody hates her, but I mean, oh god.
But what I'm trying to say is that during that time in the book, I know that I don't think I really read that one. But I don't know if it's different in the movie. I know in the movie, Fudge was like, he's not real. He's not back. Chill out. These kids, they're kids.
He was like that in the book too.
Okay.
Which is the reason why he tries to get Harry expelled at the beginning.
Yeah, and I know it's easier. It would have been easier for him, for Voldemort to like, he's lying. I'm not here. It was easier for him to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
I mean, he definitely thrived.
With Sirius Black, I don't know if you remember in the movie, Voldemort gave a vision or a dream to Harry that he was killing Voldemort. Sirius, right?
He was
and then Sirius, and then he was like, "They're at the Ministry of Magic. We gotta go." So I feel like that is pivotal as for. No, it wasn't real.
The movie. I'm just gonna say one thing. The movie's got a lot of the big details right. There are a few small things that they left out that I wish they probably would have that they probably could have left in. But overall, basically everything you see in the movies, happened almost exactly the same way as in the books.
So in that scene, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I gotta go." And for Sirius Black being a pivotal character, I think it's important because that's when Harry. It's like, we got to go there. He's going to get hurt. We got to go save him, right?
Yeah.
And, Harry wouldn't have done that for anybody. I mean, maybe Hermione. He
would have done it for people that he cared about.
Hermione.
He would have done it for Lupin. He would have done
Ron,
it for the Weasleys. He would have done it for,
but
for Ron, Hermione, Ginny. He would have done it.
For Sirius Black was like his father now that his father... Not really his father.
Well, the whole thing with Sirius is that it was Harry's last hope of getting away from the Dursleys.
Yeah, so
while, yes... The love that Harry had for Sirius was genuine because it was also a part of because of how close Sirius was to James. It was essentially Harry's last, true connection to his family. The family he never got to know. And plus, Sirius is Harry's godfather.
Yeah.
You don't get named godfather just because you happen to know somebody.
Yeah, so it's important for him as a character because it forced Harry to go to the Ministry, and that's when all that stuff happened, and then Fudge finally seen Voldemort.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then I remember in the theater, he was like, "Oh my God, he's back!" And everyone's like, "Dude!" Yeah. So, and that actually went against Voldemort because now everyone's on alert and like he's not in the shadows no more. So it was pivotal. It might have not really been him, but as Sirius Black being that father, like the father that he has and the get away from Dursley, it was important he was there Because then it would have been, because if it was Ron or Hermione, Ron or Hermione were with him. You know what I mean? So he was like, that's not real. But Sirius Black had to be in the background of the movies and everything. Like you said, he was short-lived. Well, not short-lived, but he was not there constantly.
Yeah.
But he was there. So it threw a wrench in Voldemort's plan because I was like, oh, great. I don't know why he did that. Because now he's like, they kind of screwed him over. But
I don't know if it directly influenced anything that Voldemort did directly, and I honestly don't think he cared. I think if anything, he probably said, "Oh, good, one less I got to deal with later on."
Yeah, I'll kill them all.
That is exactly his idea.
Yeah.
You know, if he had the opportunity, he would have murdered every member of the Order of the Phoenix that he could have. The series takes a very large tonal shift after the end of the fourth book and the fourth movie. And it's one that you can very visibly see because and I'm gonna go over this real quick. First book, what happens? Yes, we find out that Harry's an orphan and he's having to live with these mean people, you know, the Dursleys and his jackass cousin. But what does he do? He gains a friend in Hagrid. He gains Ron. He gains Hermione, Neville to an extent. He learns about the true world that he comes from. He gains many friends. He learns a little bit more about his life or where he comes from. He learns a little bit more about his father and mother from those that knew him. In Chamber of Secrets, he gains Dobby. They meet. I mean, I don't know if gaining Gilderoy Lockhart is a good thing. You see Ginny have a larger expanded role from her brief little appearance in the first book. In the third book, he gains Remus, he gains Sirius, and in the fourth book, he gains Cedric Diggory. To a certain extent as a friend.
Cedric? I was kidding.
Yeah. But then what happens at the end of the fourth book? Voldemort returns. Who dies? Cedric. The last person he basically gained as a friend. After that, while there are a few other people who come in from the peripherals after that, and also in the fourth book, he gains Mad-Eye Moody.
Well, they gain the copy of it.
But afterwards he's still there.
Yeah.
Yes, for large amounts of the fourth book, it is Barty Crouch Jr. imitating Mad-Eye Moody. But after that, they gain the real Mad-Eye Moody, who is very similar to exactly the way Barty Crouch Jr. was portraying him. So yeah, he turns out to be almost exactly the same way. And then what happens at the end of the book? Cedric Diggory is the first one to die. And then you have the Order of the Phoenix. Sirius dies. Half-Blood Prince, the sixth book and sixth movie. You lose Dumbledore.
Yeah, I was about to say. How can you forget?
Sorry. I was like, I'm also thinking like 10 steps ahead of what I'm going to say next. But then in book 7 and, of course, movies 7 and 8, you lose a whole myriad of people. So in the basically halfway towards the end of the Goblet of Fire, which is the fourth book, Harry's life takes a tonal shift from gaining new allies and friends to losing. And the way I kind of see it is with the return of Voldemort, up until that point, Harry has been gaining, little bits of hope for when he's able to leave the Dursleys. And then, of course, the biggest thing of hope, the biggest essence or the biggest embodiment of that hope is Sirius. And so when he loses that in Order of the Phoenix, it's the biggest blow to his newly created life. Or I guess I shouldn't say newly created because it's been going on for 5 years at that point. But it's essentially up until that point, and with the death of Cedric Diggory, there's been nothing but, the good, almost nothing but good possibilities in this world of magic. Mm-hmm. And the biggest blow to that is the death of Sirius.
Yeah, and speaking of this series, the last thing I found out is that without Sirius dying, he left his house to Harry.
Yeah.
And with Harry, he left Creeper, or whatever they call that.
Creature.
Yeah, Creeper. It's Minecraft. But without that, they would have never found out where the Horcrux was at that the lady had.
Yeah, that's true.
So without Sirius, because they didn't know what they were doing, they didn't know where it was at. Because I think,
yeah, they had no idea.
No,
they had no idea, and then they had no idea that RAB was Regulus Arcturus Black, Sirius's brother.
Yeah, they would never. Yeah, so that's
So yeah, he definitely does play a pivotal role in all of this.
Yeah, so with Sirius Black coming out of Azkaban, sort of speeds up Voldemort coming back because Peter Pettigrew's like, oh shit, he's gonna kill me, or I gotta get him back. Then it also brought attention to Voldemort being back with Lord Fudge Minister Fudge, because he was in denial and trying to keep everything under wraps, and he's not back. But the dream or vision that Voldemort gave Harry, it made Harry go up there. Voldemort there, Fudge was there. He's seen it, so it threw a little wrench in Voldemort's plan because now everyone's on alert. And then without Sirius being there, and when he died, his house and creature went to Harry, which helped him find the Horcrux. So,
yep,
there's a lot of pivotal things for Sirius, and also the importance of how Prisoner of Azkaban is part of the film.
Yeah,
part of the Harry Potter universe. So.
And like I said at the top, it does explain, one little thing, with, where do bad wizards go when they get caught?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it also gives you. So, those are 2 questions.
Okay.
Bringing it back up. Those are 2 questions out of the way. That was pretty good. 2 questions in the Azkaban series. Okay, this one's a cool one. Why was Dobby's death necessary, or was it?
I believe it absolutely was necessary.
Yes.
Because it was...
He was the symbol.
I don't know so much if he was a symbol. I think it was, well, okay, yeah, I will give you that. He was a symbol. He was, to me, and other people may not agree with this, he was the symbol of the last vestige of Harry's innocence.
Yeah.
And I think when Harry lost Dobby, something in him, changed. He couldn't. With Dobby alive, there was that. He could still think about that time, when he first met Dobby. He could still think about that innocent time where, Dobby was this, little house elf trying to, with, misguided views of how to save Harry. And it was almost like a much simpler time, although I guess nothing really has been simple about Harry's life. Other than, I guess him being born into the world. After that, everything just kind of went to hell. Yeah. I definitely think he was the last little piece of innocence for Harry. And I think it brought about a whole new determination.
Yeah, it's it, because after that, it wasn't a happy ending. Because that was the end, right? That was the end.
That was, Dobby dies at the very end of the 7th movie, but he dies towards the middle of the 7th book.
Yeah, so in the movies, it was the end from people who weren't into the books. And then,
yeah.
So, when you leave off, okay. Because that would be a good point, because it was half of the book, and this is half of the movie, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense. Okay. So, yeah. So, when it wasn't a happy ending, So, there was another reason. I also feel like Dobby's...
And it was, it was kind of a shifting point for the what they were searching for. Because before it was just about the Horcruxes. And I know they don't really go too detailed into it in the movies. I mean, they do talk about the Deathly Hallows in the movies, and they do explain what they are. But in essence, in the second half of the book, Harry actually kind of shifts to not only trying to find the Horcruxes and destroying them, but also trying to find the Deathly Hallows. Where that's not necessarily put into into the movies. He's not in the movies. He's not so concerned about finding the Deathly Hallows.
I also feel like Dobby's time was done. I feel like he started off as a slave. You know, he was trying to get Harry expelled, wasn't he? Get him in trouble? No.
Well, he was not so much that he was trying to get him in trouble. He thought that by getting Harry expelled, he thought it would keep Harry safe.
Yeah. So he started off with that. He became free. You know, he popped it around. He helped Harry and then get out of the prison and everyone and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, getting him out, Bellatrix didn't like how he talked to her. He's like, Dobby's a free elf. I'm here to save Harry Potter and friends, and teleports him in.
She
And
throws
he's like,
the knife.
bitch, you die.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it was like, do you think I don't? Because
It was honestly it was
poetic.
it's the saddest. I'm sorry, it is the saddest fucking thing in the world. And every time I watch that part of the movie or I read that part of the book, I sit there and bawl for the next hour and a half.
I feel like
because I love Dobby so much, and he's so innocent in all of this. All he's trying to do is help his friend, the person he sees as one of his best friends in the world. You know, but I do think that it is fitting. The death of Dobby is fitting because when he dies, you know that no one can take away what he gained at that point. Yes, he's dead. Yes, he's gone. But no one can take away his freedom.
Also that no one's safe either. Like, what's the point of killing an elf? Like, honestly, like, what was in the big grand scheme of things?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely.
What was Dobby ever gonna do other than that one little thing he did?
It was definitely a way of...
Because you see other people die.
J.K. Rowling to show that, absolutely no one was safe.
Because you see everyone else die, you know, but they're like wizards and stuff. They actually have a chance to do something, but Dobby is like...
Yeah.
Yikes. And also that, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
I think it's, I think it's also... the same message of that no one is safe is mirrored in the death of Fred Weasley.
Yeah, oh man.
Because that is a sad point too, and actually, I think it's downplayed a little bit in the book as compared to the way it is shown in the movies.
Yeah, the movie was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's like
what? Whoa.
Exactly.
No. Man, I was in the movie theater. I wanted to rewind it. Like, it wasn't fair. I didn't want to have to pay again to come see this sad scene the second time to make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think Dobby's death was necessary. Had a lot of full circle moments from being a slave to being free to helping the person who freed him. Came full circle. You know, it was showing that, you can never take away his freedom because, even Bellatrix said, what? And the way he talked to Bellatrix being a slave elf,
Yeah, and Dobby's words as he laid there dying in Harry's arms. It's tragic. Yes, I'm acknowledging that. It's sad as hell. But it's also beautiful in a way. And I think that's what brings out more emotion is that that yes, while he's dead and gone, he died a free elf. He died saving his friends. And that's the ultimate sacrifice you can make. And it was very humanizing too. It was a very humanizing moment for a creature that doesn't exist in the real world, as far as we know. You never know with these things.
Yeah. So with that, there's a next question. I'm gonna let you talk about it first, really quick. Let me look this up really quick, because I couldn't. What I'm about to do is I'm about to reference someone else's theory about this, which I feel like it makes perfect sense to me. And I can't think of any other way to say. I mean, there's a few things you can answer. The next question is, was Hedwig's death necessary?
Now, see, that's actually a tough one.
See, I found something beautiful and poetic about it, but
I mean, there's. I guess you can argue both sides of it. To be honest, some people could say no, Hedwig's death wasn't necessary and it was all Harry's fault. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about differences between the books and the movie. See, in the movie, they portray Hedwig as simply sacrificing herself for Harry. Because he was about to get hit by an attack, and she jumps in the middle. She jumps in the way of it and takes the full brunt of the killing curse. Whereas the reason I say that some people actually blame Harry for it, because in the book, it was because Harry used the Expelliarmus, the disarming spell, that not only signaled Voldemort that this was the actual Harry, but it's what, in turn, caused Hedwig to essentially have to protect him. But other people argue saying, yes, it was necessary because another thing, that's another symbol of Harry's innocence being taken away, another symbol of hope being taken away, and that, it also goes to show the sort of relationship that Harry and Hedwig had and how loyal she was to him. And some people could even use it to try and highlight how intelligent, just how intelligent animals are in general. Yeah. So, like I said, you could argue it both ways, but my personal opinion, I don't. Like I said, it's tough. I actually see both sides of it. I don't necessarily blame Harry for her death, but I also don't absolve him completely.
It's like a double-edged sword in sort of a sense.
Because
it's not Harry's fault.
Probably something I'll highlight again a little later because of the next question. Harry's a smart kid, but he does some really stupid fucking things sometimes.
Yeah. So my answer is, I feel like was it necessary? I think it was. I'm gonna read what I'm about to read in a minute. I think it was because Hedwig was like his. Other than Hagrid, was like his first pal, I guess you could say. It was his pet that he was able to bring in. Yep. It followed him everywhere, delivered his mail, So when he, in the movie, and even in the book, I guess you could say, when he sacrificed himself for Harry, it was the last thing he could probably lose other than Hermione and Ron and Hagrid.
Yeah. Hedwig was a she, by the way.
Oh, she. My bad. Yeah. Sorry. But that he would believe. Did I say he or did I say he, like in Harry? Or did
Well, when you said he sacrificed himself,
oh, okay.
I figured you were mentioning.
Yeah,
you were referencing
when
Hedwig.
She sacrificed herself. Sorry, I got confused in words. When she sacrificed, it was the last thing that. It's another full circle thing because it was the last movie, and the first thing he got was the first friend he basically had died.
Yeah.
Full circle. That was the end. And what I'm about to read to you.
Although technically, you could probably say Mad Eye died first.
But he didn't. But
that dies off. He dies off screen and
why is that? I'll ask you later. But
because yeah, we'll discuss it after.
That's one thing I never understood. But so what I'm about to read you is an article from Tumblr. I'm pretty sure this person is never. It's from 2015. Just check that out right now. That this person's name is Jo Marie Walker from Tumblr, and she has a fan theory about Hedwig's death and how serious it was.
Okay.
So, do you want me to read all of it, or do you want me to sum it up? Because it's not that long.
Well, I mean, I'll leave that one up to you.
Okay, so basically, I'll sum it up in a little bit, and if I have to go back over it. So basically, she or he is saying that with Snape being the one who was playing double agent for Voldemort, like you can guess, you could say when the battle between the Clone Harrys and the Death Eaters, right? I guess you could assume when they got out that they were coming that it was Snape, right? Could you assume that?
Well, yeah, he would have been the only one that could have told them.
Could have known, yeah. Okay, so Jo, Joe Marie is saying that the person who killed Hedwig, the Death Eater, could have been Snape. Because, let's see where it's at. May not suggest Snape. Like, Death Eater. Snape had already forced to reveal the date. He was forced to reveal when Harry was going to fly and all that. Yeah, he was forced to give it to Voldemort to get on his good side. Yeah. And Hedwig was always there with Harry from the beginning, as you're saying. Like I said, he's always there from the beginning. And that when you seen him flying, you know, who else would have Hedwig flying around them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when
I see
Snape
where you're going with
seen
this.
that, he was like, his job was to protect Harry. Snape. No matter what, double-sided or anything. Dumbledore said it, you know, he did it for his mom, you know. So when he seen that, as much as it went against it, if it was Snape, Snape killed Hedwig for no further actions of that ever happening. That Hedwig will give away Harry's position. Because why else would Hedwig die for someone other than Harry?
Yeah. So
if it was Snape, he killed Hedwig for that one particular reason, that Hedwig might be the one, she might be the one, I don't know if I say he again. She might be the one to give off his position, his disguise, his where he's at, you know? So that's what she or he said. Sorry, Joe, if you were ever watching this. And that, you know, even though, you know, it is sad that Hedwig died, yeah, she believes that Snape was the one who was the Death Eater. Because I rewatched it a bunch of times because I was like, was it Snape? Did I not see it? I watched the movie and I watched it on YouTube in the slower. Someone on YouTube had it in slow motion, and I can't really tell if it was him or not because I don't know. You know, no one. I mean, I guess it wouldn't have been him, but you know, but if it was, because they never mentioned who did it.
Yeah, and the only issue I come up with the theory. I mean, it's a really good theory. The only issue I come up with for the theory is that I don't think. Well, obviously in the movie we don't see who it is that launches the killing curse. We can't see him clearly.
Yeah, you see,
and most of the Death Eaters are probably wearing masks anyway.
Yeah, when I watched it in slow mo, it was a person with the mask.
Okay, but the only other thing I have to say is that in the books, I don't think it mentions anywhere that Snape actually took part in the attack.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I also don't think that it mentions anywhere that he didn't. So there's no real way to confirm or deny that he was there at the time. So that could be potentially the only hole in that idea. Yeah. But overall, yeah, I think it's. I mean, obviously I picked up on it real quick once you started talking about it, and yeah, I definitely think that could be a plausible theory.
Yeah.
And I'm actually looking right now. I'm looking on. I'm trying to find. Something on whether or not he was there.
Yeah, but while you're doing that, so Joe Marie Walker believes that Hedwig, she was jeopardizing Harry's safety. So, and Snape noticed that, and Snape, you know, is a protector of Harry, so he had no shit, and he had to get rid of her. And it's kind of sad. Like, I know when she died, I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
But Snape, if it was Snape, Snape had to do what he had to do to keep Harry safe, and that was the only way he could do so. But yeah, I understand. I know. I didn't want to mention to you. I wanted to like the surprise factor to sort of get you. You know.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to mention.
That was good.
Yeah. So I didn't bring it up. I didn't do any research on it myself because I found it last night. But after thinking about it and reading it and then going to sleep and waking up and thinking about it, it makes sense that, I mean, it's like you said, it's never mentioned that he was there. It's not mentioned that he wasn't there, you know. But
yeah,
even if Joe, shout out to you again, even if none of it's right, I do think it was necessary for Hedwig to die. I mean, but like you said, it could be either or. But for me, I think it is because it's killing the first friend that Harry had in the movie. It's the last movie. Was it in the last book?
Yeah.
It was the last movie. It was the last book. You know, so there's another full circle kind of thing. Without killing anyone that had significance in the story, that needed to be there later on, you know? Mm-hmm. So, did you find anything about it, or?
I'm still looking. It's surprisingly, I looked at Pottermore first and couldn't find anything definitive.
Oh yeah.
Which surprised me because Pottermore is supposed to be everything Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know.
Even the more
I'm
obscure
gonna tweet
stuff.
J.K. Rowling right now.
I wish we could get an answer that fast. That would definitely be.
We're cool. Just kidding.
Yeah, we are not that cool yet, unfortunately. Hope to one day be that cool. I mean, that would just be awesome if I could just shoot a text or a tweet to JK and ask her, hey, is this true? Or what do you think about this? And get a response within like 10 minutes and be like, oh, shit, yeah, that's cool. I mean, obviously, she would probably, well, I don't know her well enough to say if she'd be more elegant than that or not. I would hope she would be, judging by how well she writes.
Yeah. So, as you're looking that up, I'll come back and ask you if you found anything. Oh, I did send a message.
And we could also do another video down the line.
Mm-hmm. So the last and final question, which I found some good stuff on, is when do you think Harry Potter realized or suspected that he too was a Horcrux?
Okay, that's a good one. It's a very good question. In my opinion, I don't think he truly knew.
I don't think anyone knew.
There's only two people that knew for a fact before that point. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Harry truly knew. He might have had some kind of suspicion beforehand, but I don't think it was a very strong one. But I don't think he truly knew until he saw the conversation between Dumbledore and Snape in the Pensieve.
Yeah.
So up until that point, I believe the only two people that knew for a fact that Harry was a Horcrux was Dumbledore and Snape.
I feel like, because what I found out is that, okay, it's from the 6th book on page 503. I feel like I'm doing a freaking book report. Harry asked Dumbledore, he made 7 Horcruxes? And Dumbledore said, not 7 Horcruxes, 6. The 7th part of the soul, who, however maimed, resides inside a regenerated body. So the six Horcruxes was the Diary, the Gaunt's Ring, Salazar's Locket, Helga Hufflepuff's Cup, and Nagini. Right? Mm-hmm. So, if Dumbledore knew that Harry was the 7th one, why did he only name 6?
Okay, hold on a second. I finally found the answer to the previous question. I am sorry about that. I was partially listening, so please restate that.
I'm going to read the whole quote I got.
Yeah, please.
Okay, the quote I found on Harry Potter 6, page 503. Harry asked Dumbledore, he made 7 Horcruxes? And Dumbledore said, not 7, 6. The 7th part of his soul, however maimed, resides inside his regenerated body. The 6 Horcruxes is the Diary, Gaunt's Ring, Salazar's Locket, Helga Hufflepuff's Cup, and Nagini. So if you say it was true and Dumbledore and Snape knew, why did he not mention 7?
Because he knew... The only reason he didn't mention it to Harry was because he knew for a fact at that point in time, Harry was not ready to know this.
Okay, I know
there were certain events that Harry had to go through in order for him to... Basically, Harry had to come to the realization himself. So, I don't think he ever intended Sirius to die at the hands of Voldemort. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I can't confirm or deny
5.
that.
Okay, so, really quick. I named 5. I miscounted. So he named the Diary, Gaunt's Ring, Salazar's Locket, Helga Hufflepuff's Cup, and Nagini. That's 5. And
Ravenclaw's Diadem.
Huh?
Ravenclaw's Diadem would be number 6.
Would it? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not listed. Did I miss that? Did I not write that? Oh. Okay, you're right. Ravenclaw. Yeah, okay. So, what I'm trying to say is that those are the 6, right?
Yeah.
My thing is that I honestly couldn't answer this question without researching and Googling and looking, because I don't have the books no more.
Yeah, no.
So
I can say honestly, I can say with almost 100% certainty, it's because he knew that Harry was not ready to know this yet.
but what I found out is that I feel like not even well, obviously he didn't know. Voldemort didn't know he was a mistake Horcrux as well. But
no, Voldemort did not know. He had no idea.
So I found out this over here that he said 6 for a reason. Again, I'm just finding stuff like a message. This isn't my own personal, findings. Like I've other people were talking about it. I found other stuff about it. So someone commented about that one, and they said that he didn't want Harry to know yet, like you said, right? He didn't want Harry to know yet he was a Horcrux. He confirmed that talking to Snape, like you said, right?
Because he confirms that later in the same book.
And he also reads the quote.
He confirms it in a flashback from the pensive scene in the 7th book, which the event took place during the 6th book.
Yeah, and then it goes on with Harry must not know, not until the last moment, not until it's necessary, otherwise he could have the strength to do what must be done. But what must he do? That is between Harry and me. Now listen closely, Severus. There will come a time after my death. And then off that, but also, J.K. Rowling later stated on Pottermore that Harry was not really a Horcrux. That it was only a piece of spirit that connected to Harry. It wasn't a Horcrux's. But the love and all that, the love and all that just goes that that he wasn't really a Horcrux. That the Killing Curse rebounded. This is what I found. Killing Curse is rebounded. This is from Pottermore. The Killing Curse was rebounded. A piece broke off and latched onto only living soul in the vicinity, which was Harry, and making him an unofficial Horcrux. So it's just a piece
unofficial. But he's still essentially a Horcrux, because the definition of a Horcrux by the standards set by the books is an object, and a person can be an object. They are an animate object instead of an inanimate object. It is an object that imbues part of the soul of the individual creating the Horcrux. Now, it was unintentional, yes. Yeah. And he's essentially an unofficial Horcrux. Yeah. But he's a Horcrux nonetheless.
Yeah, and that also connects to why Harry and Voldemort share visions, why Harry can speak to them.
And here's the thing. I don't think until maybe about, somewhere between the 5th and the 6th book, Dumbledore knew for sure. I think he had a suspicion when the diary first showed up. It confirmed Dumbledore's suspicion that the Horcruxes existed. However, I don't think he ever had a full idea that Harry was an actual Horcrux until after the events of the Order of the Phoenix, because of their strong connection to one another, and because of the fact that. And then another thing that would also explain is, with Harry being an unofficial Horcrux, it also explains why the Alchemacy didn't work. It explains why he was never able to keep Voldemort out of his head.
Okay, yeah, it's part of him.
Because, there's just simply too strong of a connection.
Yeah, so, that goes back with it. But I thought that was pretty cool for the stuff I found. Yeah. So,
and going back to that the other question, the quote that you found for what was her name again?
Jo Marie.
Jo Marie. To answer your question, if you ever manage to it's not really your question, but it was an idea that I posed. Snape was not a part of the Battle of Seven Potters.
Oh, okay. Where'd you find that at?
It's the Harry Potter wiki, but it lists the combatants involved.
Oh, okay. But that still would have been a cool reason.
It would have, definitely. It was definitely a well thought out theory. It's just, and I realize there's not even with this you still have to take it with a grain of salt, because until J.K. Rowling utters the words from her own mouth, anything can be changed at any time. I mean, hell, she played a joke on us with how to pronounce Voldemort for years. telling everybody that was actually supposed to be pronounced Voldemort when actually we were pronouncing it right the whole time. And it's actually it's really funny about that too. The Audible books that I have, the narrator, I got all the ones done by the same narrator, and after the third book, through the first, second, and third books, he actually pronounces it Voldemort without the T. Because it was after J.K. Rowling actually said to everybody, he's right here, he wants to go out. He wants to go that way. But J.K. Rowling had actually once said that it was supposed to be pronounced Voldemort with a silent T. But then she came out later, a couple years later, saying that no, it was a joke. It's actually supposed to be pronounced Voldemort. And so, after the third book, the third Audible book is from the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th book. He pronounces it Voldemort, and I just thought that was hilarious.
So good. So with that, going back over the questions, could Harry Potter's storyline evolve without Azkaban and Sirius?
No,
it couldn't, because Sirius had a lot of pivotal things he did himself.
Yeah. Definitely, and then of course it introduced other things that needed to be there for later on down the line.
And that goes hand in hand with how pivotal was Sirius as a character. He was very pivotal because he was Harry's hope. He was Harry's dream to get away from Dursleys. He was pivotal in.
It was essentially Harry's last connection to his family.
He kind of rushed Voldemort's return. He helped with him being.
And that was unintentional.
Yeah, that was unintentional, but he did, sort of. And then, with him being important to Harry, the dream or the vision he was given about him being hurt.
Yeah.
Made Harry go there, expose Voldemort for reals in front of Fudge. He also helped when he passed. The house was given to Harry with Kreacher finding the other Horcrux. And then, was Dobby's death necessary?
Yes.
Yes, because it came full circle for his story.
Yep.
It showed that no one was safe. That his, what did you say? He said that
it was just another tie to Harry's innocence.
Yeah, and you said his freedom would never be taken because he did what he wanted. He backed off Bellatrix.
He made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yep. And then, was Hedwig's death necessary? It can go either way.
Yeah,
it can go
definitely either way. I think both sides have merit.
Yeah, and then I don't even know if we answered. When did Harry Potter realize he was a Horcrux? I mean, we talked about it, but
yeah.
You did. You said right before when he watched the vision.
I think maybe like I said before, there was the possibility that he had maybe a little bit of a suspicion later on, and then maybe that suspicion was at the back of his mind, while damn it, excuse me, while he was hunting, and then of course, but I don't think he knew for sure until he saw, just because of his reaction in both the book and the movies. And I think Daniel Radcliffe did a great job playing the character. But going back to what I referenced earlier, yes, Harry is smart. He does some stupid things because he's an emotional person. He's a very emotional person. Yeah. You definitely...
He's Muggle.
Yeah. Well, he's half. He's a half-blood.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely think he probably displays the widest range of emotion out of any character in the books or movies. However, Hermione's the true hero.
No, I'm the love of my life.
And even J.K. Rowling admitted that she never should have had her marry Ron.
Oh, for real? I think I read something about that.
Yeah.
More of a fan thing.
It's more of a... Well, no, it's more of a recent admission that she realizes that she made a big mistake with marrying those two. Now, I don't know if she actually says who she should have had Hermione marry, but she definitely says it was a mistake to have her marry Ron.
Well, with that, Again, thank you, Monica, for your questions. And everyone who's watching, if you have one question, one big question, or a lot of little questions about anything,
Yeah.
just ask them. Like we
Please.
know, and like I said, like I didn't know everything in the book. I only I think I only read 3 of them and half of the last one. Not even half of the last one. But
You know, just do like what Monica did. Pose the questions to us. That's why we have a comment section.
yeah.
Leave them there, and you know what? You might get lucky, and we do an episode like this, or we might answer those questions if we're doing an episode close to that topic. So, like, if you've got anything from your favorite anime, you know, we've done several episodes on Dragon Ball Z, or your favorite movie, whether it be Star Wars or Star Trek or
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
Godzilla.
Park, yeah. Please pose those questions to us. They can even be about video games that you want to know about the lore, or some backstory, and we will definitely do our best to answer those. Whether we do it there in the comment section or we do it in a video like this.
Yeah. Exactly.
But please, give us your ideas, give us your thoughts, give us your comments. If you want to just say, hey, keep it up, guys, we love it. Please do that. If you have some suggestions on maybe how we could possibly improve the channel, please give us that.
Yeah, because you guys help us out. That will help us out a lot more. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
yeah,
I love looking up topics and everything. But if you have something easy, that's hassle for us. We can just get these videos
exactly,
going.
and we can continue to make great content for you guys.
Exactly.
Yes, we're doing this partially for us, but we're also doing it for you too, because there's, we know there are a lot of channels out there that do stuff similar to this, but they often leave out certain things like these. They miss these kind of questions. But yeah, so we've had a great time doing this episode. This is probably one of the more fun episodes we've done.
Yeah.
And we love doing this kind of stuff for you guys. And once again, Monica, right?
Yeah,
Monica, I'm sorry. Thank you for the question.
We mentioned a lot of names here. Joe Marie. And shout out to whoever, Joe Marie, if you're a guy or a girl,
Well, from Joe Marie, I'm pretty sure it's a girl.
I'm not judging them.
But you never know.
Yeah, if you're watching, that was pretty good, That's what I was like...
Yeah, that was a great theory. Unfortunately, from what I've been able to find, it looks like it's probably not true. But it was a great theory. Yeah. And we appreciate you posting. I know it wasn't directed at us.
Oh, yeah.
But, we appreciate having it out there in order to fuel this conversation. And if you ever do end up listening to this video, please, give us more stuff, whether it be questions, comments. We hope to, one day reach a big audience of people. But other than that, please like, comment, subscribe. I know I forgot to do that last episode. And hit that notification bell so you guys can immediately be notified whenever a new episode goes up.
Yeah.
Until then... until the next one. Yep. Everybody. See you later.